Good morning, I'm from Shea O'Matney. I'm with Taz Site Services. We're going to be showing you how to do a demo in a safe manner today with the Rent One PC200 Komatsu. And we're just going to do our pre-inspection here, just so we have all the safety guidelines before we start. Basically, first of all, we'll do our checks. And first of all, I can see here that the Telus line isn't cut. So we're gonna have to get that sorted before we start pulling it down. Because if a piece attaches and comes away, it could be like a missile, it'll go flinging across the road. So we check to see that our gas is disconnected at the back. Always check the house yourself as the operator, because it's on you at the end of the day. If someone says that there's nobody in the house, I still wouldn't believe it. Always check yourself, because there could be squatters or whoever. So we'll come on inside and we'll have a check. The house should be fully abated. All the drywall is gone. Most of the cables, this is actually a very well gutted house. You're just checking around to see, is there any chimneys? There's a small chimney here, but it's in the middle of the building. Sometimes they could be on the outside, on the gables. If they are, and if they're like 3-4 feet above the roof, you should probably get it taken down by hand, just so it doesn't fall into the neighbor's property and do some damage. Now with these balconies, that when they built them, they just drove like 8-inch nails in, and that's how they're connected. Make sure that this can't easily detach from the house, because it can just fall into another property. As I said, we've got loads of room here today. Generally, you won't have this type of room. If you have any issues or you're worried about it, get it taken down by hand, because it's just not worth the hassle of having the neighbors complaining. We'll take a trip downstairs. Obviously there's nobody up here. And as you can see again, it's very well gutted. There's not many of the houses now I've done, it's been this clean. Quite a clean demo today. It should be mainly wood. Keep an eye on this chimney, but like as I said, it's in the middle of the house. It shouldn't go anywhere. If it's on the side and it's taken down, then try and break the house away from it and keep all the stone together. You should always have a checklist to make sure that the abatement has signed off on it. Fortis BC has been called, and the city notice a project and a couple of other things, but like that's up to your employer to make sure that they have that. Generally, we start these projects from the back of the house. There's usually a garage that we'll have to knock down before we get in. You'll go down a laneway generally, and then it started from the back. So how I'll approach this is I'll pull down the outside decking first, pull it straight off the wall, and then I'll probably attack just the right hand side of it. It depends on the house. There could be like different sections sticking out, so like obviously try and get it in as tight as possible. So we'll get the right hand side down, punch it in, and generally what I try to do is open up a pocket. As you get in, pull everything down, and the main objective here is that we got a little bit of a basement there. It's all concrete, so you want to get all the demo down into that so it's nice and neat and clean, so that when you come to the end of the day that you're just crunching it up and it's all going to be in one area, because you don't want to have demo all over the place. You'll be cleaning up way too long. So with the gable ends, we'll open it up, make it loose, but don't knock the first floor in before we pull that gable, because what could possibly happen, potentially could happen, is if we keep breaking it down and we're down to the lower level and you go to pull in the top right hand gable, it could blow out from the bottom, and again it just could be a disaster. You're gonna have neighbors that are very annoyed with you, and just the cleanup is just a mess. So when you still have the first level in there, try and pull the gable in. As you've loosened it up, pull the gable in, and then just keep crunching down, smashing it down into the next floor, and then come down, come across, and do the same as you did on the first side. Loosen it off, and then as you get it down to the first level again, pull in your gable, and then if there's any bits at the front, maybe just crunch, track up, and then pull the front of the house into you, So but basically what you're trying to do is fold it. Basically fold the back in, pull the side, fold the back in, pull the side, and then pull the front in. And then crunch it all down, and then once you're onto that level, you're pretty good. I'll never say you're 100% good, but you should be pretty good there. And then just crunch it all down, and basically you should be left with one big pile in the middle of the basement. And then you're going through the sorting. So if there doesn't look like there's much steel in this house, but usually you just pull the steel to one side, make a steel pile. The shingles haven't been taken off on this house, so I'm going to have to check with the builder to see, does he want them in a separate pile. Usually they're taken off by hand. So we should just have a steel pile and then a demo pile. So obviously you want to crunch it down as small as you can to get it into the bins. These bins generally take about 10 ton, so you kind of need it quite small and compact to get the actual 10 ton in, because wood doesn't weigh a whole lot. Do the crunching up, do the sorting, load it out in the bins, do our cleaning up, and then when that's all gone, then we start to pull our concrete in. Keep the concrete as clean as possible. I'm sure you're aware of that. Load the concrete out, smooth off the area, track it in, pull the machine out, and we're done. And yeah, that's how we do it now. We've just completed the demo. We've pulled out all the concrete, loaded it out, and as you can see, what we're after doing is we've just leveled it off, smoothed it out, and track packed it in. To get that seal on it, we need the seal because we don't know when the excavation is going to happen, and we don't want the site to turn to soup. And also for the neighbors, it needs to look pretty good for them. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and hopefully I've provided some good information for you. Thanks very much.